The British Library holds a wealth of treasures tracing the history of magic and conjuring, including an astonishing Egyptian papyrus fragment dating back to the late 4th century. Jim and Richard are meeting curator Christian Algar, who has conjured up a prize 16th century work on magic, a volume considered daringly brave for its time, and which explains the ancient trick of cups and balls.
This is a book printed in 1584, first edition, The Discovery of Witchcraft.
You obviously know about this. I'm a little disappointed. I wanted to hear about conjuring, not witchcraft.
You won't be disappointed, Jim. This is a very special book. The author, Reg Scott, decided to create a book of two halves. The first half deals with witchcraft. He saw this as ludicrous, he saw it as nonsense, and he argues that this isn't sorcery. Anything that happens that gets blamed on witchcraft is perfectly explainable in a natural way. In the second half of the book, he bolsters his argument by using a practical description and explanation of magic tricks, conjuring, juggling, as it was called then.
So what have we got here? We've got juggling with balls, which means magic trick with balls. What is this describing here?
So this part of the book is the first description of the cups and balls trick in the English language.
From 1584, fantastic. Oh yeah, the small ball is to be placed in your thumb before your ring finger and middle finger.
So
really?
it's a technical treatise.
Yes, it's almost, it serves as a manual of how to do these tricks. But the emphasis here is Reg Scott saying that it isn't some kind of sorcery. It's actually skill, it's dexterity, it's nimbleness, and it's the ability to be convincing that makes and pulls off a trick.
Reginald Scott's Discovery of Witchcraft was widely read and debated around the turn of the 17th century. He drew much of his knowledge from a French-born conjurer, John Cotterer.
These feats are nimbly, cleanly, and swiftly to be conjured, so as the eyes of the beholders may not discern or perceive the drift. The eye is quicker than the hand. And,
But great talking about it as a performance, as an entertainment for people.
That's entirely correct, and maybe John Cotterer must have regretted it, perhaps, because this is an explanation of his secrets, his trade, and if other people could read this, then they could pull those tricks off convincingly too.
Ah, yeah, so it's all very well debunking the witchcraft people, but don't give away my game. This is a first edition. Are there any more of these in existence?
There were other editions that were printed later, certainly, but this book really was the genesis of all following books that dealt with magic and conjuring.
And the British Library has one of these books, the only known surviving copy of the 1783 edition of the classic Hocus Pocus by Henry Dean.
Henry Dean owned a bookshop and a magic shop, and he was considered to be a magic dealer. And he would sell the instruments, the kind of equipment that was used for magic. And he also, in his books, constantly saying, if you struggle with this trick, come to my bookshop and I'll teach you how to do it. And also, he'll sell you the equipment at the same time,
absolutely.
so a keen businessman.
That's a technique still in use today.
It is how I learned. I went to a magic shop and got the magic books. I mean,
The very first trick that he describes is the cups and balls.
how to pass the balls through the cups.
There's the patter here, then say as follows. Gentlemen, 3 cups, 'tis true, they are but 10. The reason why silver is something dear.
How beautiful.
I'll turn them into gold if I live, etc., etc. It's a bit of patter, how to do it. It's a real...
That's it.
That's a step up now, isn't it?
It really is. It's whereas Scott's book is more of a scholarly work. Dean's Hocus Pocus, it's more playful. It's written very playfully. It is.
Whoa, isn't that brilliant?
It's beautiful.
Inspired by this centuries-old magic manual, Jim and Richard can't resist a bit of Hocus Pocus themselves.
The idea was you take the first ball and you place it on top of the middle cup, and just by pressing down and running the one down the side, it should just seem to pass solid through solid, which I think in this version here he repeated with the second ball. Again, you cover them over, a little press, and once again, 2 out of 2. That's great.
From From Reg Scott through Hocus Pocus to Richard McDougall.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure and privilege to see these. I appreciate your time.
And that, folks, is just an ordinary day at the library.